In a bold move that caught the attention of the UFC world, Dricus Du Plessis recently made waves with a daring challenge, offering a $10,000 bet to anyone who could take him down during a training session.
Dricus Du Plessis has a $10,000 proposal for Chimaev. I'll give you $10,000 every time you can take me down. So what does a fight look like between Chimaev and Dricus if there's no takedown? Are you completely certain that for Chimaev to win this fight, he must take him down? But what if we put it in reverse? Chimaev can't take him down. That's what Dricus is saying is going to happen. Are we sure that Chimaev can't strike with him? Are you sure that in the absence of a takedown, Chimaev cannot beat Dricus Du Plessis?
The bet, proposed by Du Plessis' coach, Morn Visser, quickly went viral as fans and fighters alike speculated about the likelihood of anyone taking down the middleweight powerhouse. Du Plessis, known for his unyielding grappling defense and tough demeanor, has made it clear that he believes his takedown defense is one of his strongest assets. The offer has sparked intense conversations leading up to his upcoming showdown with Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319, where many believe his wrestling ability will be put to the test. Now, let's move past the mix-up and take a deep dive into the much-anticipated fight between Du Plessis and Chimaev, an encounter that promises to be one of the most exciting of the year. The middleweight division is buzzing with excitement as two of its top contenders prepare to clash. But what's at stake and who has the upper hand going into this showdown?
Who you got, Chimaev versus DDP? I've got DDP over Chimaev. I've got Dricus Du Plessis winning. I think Dricus survives round one and finishes Chimaev in the later rounds. Dricus has a really good fundamental base in jiu-jitsu and submission grappling, and it's something that not a lot of people know about. Dricus is bigger, stronger, I think more gritty and heart. He has more heart than Whittaker by far. He's tougher, he's more durable. He doesn't have the teeth problems that Whittaker had. So I think he's going to break Chimaev in the later rounds.
Khamzat Chimaev, the Chechen powerhouse, has been the talk of the MMA world for some time. His explosive takedowns, unparalleled strength, and aggressive style make him a nightmare for any opponent. After a recent victory over Robert Whittaker, which saw him break Whittaker's mandible in a devastating display of power at UFC 308, Chimaev has cemented his place as one of the scariest figures in the sport. Yet, as dominant as Chimaev has been, there's no shortage of analysts who believe that his upcoming opponent, Dricus Du Plessis, may present him with the toughest challenge of his career.
Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight?
Everybody know I used to work with Khamzat. I love the guy. After COVID, it really messed him up. One of the craziest thing I ever seen. Throwing up like blood. As far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused, he's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC. When you have this kind of pressure, sometimes people doesn't know how to handle it. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat. I think he can beat anyone on any given day. As talent, as technique, is Khamzat. If you go to the third and fourth and fifth round, how this fight gonna go? I believe Khamzat can go there, did to him what he did to Robert Whittaker. 100%, I believe this.
Interestingly, many analysts and fighters have weighed in on the upcoming fight, and their opinions vary widely. Some predict that Du Plessis will be the one to emerge victorious, while others see Chimaev's explosive aggression as the deciding factor. Brendan Schaub, a former fighter and prominent analyst, seems to side with Du Plessis. He believes that Chimaev's best chance to win is in the early rounds, where his speed, power, and wrestling can overwhelm most opponents. Schaub, however, notes that if the fight stretches into the later rounds, Du Plessis' conditioning and size could allow him to take control. Du Plessis is known for his relentless pace, and Schaub suggests that the South African's physicality will make a difference as Chimaev's gas tank starts to empty.
Khamzat DDP.
Who you got in that? Let's start with that. Khamzat DDP, who you got?
I
got a feeling DDP wins that.
I have Khamzat.
I don't.
Yeah.
If Khamzat can get done the first round and a half, maybe, I just think that thing goes past the third and DDP takes over. I think he TKOs him.
I think Khamzat is a better striker, and I think Khamzat's a better wrestler, and I think DDP is a killer. But I think it's Khamzat's time.
Could be totally off on Khamzat. He's a minus 200. Dude, take my fucking money.
Really? You got DDP?
Yes. Especially as a dog. I figured it'd be the favorite.
I have to say,
I figured DDP would be like a minus 150. But Khamzat, I look at the Gilbert Burns fight. You know, you look at the Kamaru Usman fight. You're like, okay.
Yeah, but he did out wrestle Kamaru. a lot.
Joe Rogan, another major voice in the MMA community, admits that he's uncertain about how the fight will play out. He praises both fighters for their explosive styles, which makes it impossible to predict the outcome with any certainty. Rogan points out that Chimaev's ability to close the distance quickly and initiate his takedowns makes him a nightmare for anyone in the division. However, Rogan suggests that Chimaev's move to 185 pounds might actually benefit him, as his endurance at middleweight could be more sustainable than it was at welterweight.
Like, this was just a overwhelming victory. Khamzat just charged in, dove in, got him down, and mauled him until he broke his face.
Do you think it's different with Du Plessis? Because he can wrestle.
He can wrestle. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits fucking hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. Khamzat's a freak, man. Especially at 170.
Dude, but he can't make the weight. He's too unreliable.
He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Bro, 170, he's almost unstoppable. Even when Gilbert caught him on the noggin multiple times and dropped him, remember?
Yep.
Still fucking kept going. Like, that guy never stopped coming.
Luke Rockhold, a former UFC champion, echoes Schaub's sentiments, but with a slight twist. He believes that Chimaev could dominate early on with his explosive attacks and aggressive takedowns. However, Rockhold suggests that Du Plessis' conditioning and toughness could allow him to grind out the later rounds. If the fight goes beyond the second round, Rockhold sees Du Plessis gaining an advantage, as his durability and resilience could wear down Chimaev, who is known for his intensity early on.
It's not always about the most technical guy, it's the guy who wants it more. And
how do you think he fares against Khamzat?
I think Khamzat is a go for broke kind of guy. Khamzat, if he can't out wrestle you, he can't control you in that fierce state of direction of what he does, I think he'll break. Khamzat will get him if he'll get him, but if he can't get him, it's going to be a hard third, fourth, and fifth round.
Right.
I think that's going to be all Dricus.
So if it goes into the championship rounds, you like the champ?
Yeah, 100%.
Who wins, Dricus Du Plessis or Khamzat Chimaev?
Dominic Cruz, another seasoned fighter, offers an interesting perspective on the striking game. He believes that Du Plessis' unpredictable and versatile striking will give Chimaev trouble. Du Plessis has the ability to switch stances and attack from awkward angles, which could make it difficult for Chimaev to get a read on him. Cruz emphasizes that Du Plessis has the tools to keep the fight standing and avoid being taken down, which would give him the advantage over Chimaev's more traditional grappling approach.
Dricus.
Yes. Man, I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Yeah. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong, so I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much, and I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough he can challenge it, but I will say I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
On the flip side, Sean Strickland, the current middleweight champion, is highly confident in Du Plessis' ability to neutralize Chimaev's wrestling. Strickland, who has trained with both fighters, believes that Chimaev's wrestling will be overrated when faced with Du Plessis' toughness. He sees Du Plessis as a fighter who can avoid being taken down and keep the fight standing, where he'll have the upper hand with his striking.
Do you think, he beats CDP, or do you think CDP retains?
It's hard. So those little Chechen fucks, I don't want to say Chechen, he's not Chechen, he's Swedish, but those little Chechen whore, dude, they can grapple. And someone like me, who I've been training with these fuckers for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down, I've sparred.
Ariel Helwani, a respected MMA journalist, takes a more measured approach. He agrees with the general consensus that Chimaev is likely to dominate early, but he also sees Du Plessis' chances improving as the fight progresses. Du Plessis has shown a remarkable ability to adjust his game plan as the fight moves on, and Helwani believes that his endurance and mental toughness could allow him to withstand Chimaev's early barrage. If Chimaev doesn't secure a finish in the first few rounds, Du Plessis could seize the momentum and exploit weaknesses in his opponent's game.
Now, which direction are you putting that now? Are you transferring that to
I think DDP figures it out. I think he takes him to deep water and he figures it out, and I think it's like a learning lesson for him and all this stuff.
I like it.
Yeah.
Darren Till, a fighter with experience training alongside Chimaev, offers a more pessimistic view for Du Plessis. Till believes that Chimaev's explosiveness and aggressive pace will be too much for Du Plessis to handle, particularly in the first 2 rounds. Till predicts that Chimaev will finish the fight early, citing his speed and power as the deciding factors.
If I went back to the UFC now, as the middleweight I could be, I'd fucking tear that Dricus' head off. Tell Dricus I said fuck him, by the way. The little fucking gobshite. Because I can't stand his guts, because he's so shit, he's so good.
You think he beats Khamzat, your boy?
No, look, I'm with respect, I'm never going to look past Dricus because he trains hard, he's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds, I really do believe that. But look, Khamzat knows, I was speaking to Khamzat on the FaceTime the other day because I'm meant to be going out to Dubai to help with the camp. Khamzat knows it's a tough fight, but, you know, Khamzat trains like a beast. I do think Khamzat gets it in 2 rounds done. Do you know what I'm saying?
By the way, you're looking svelte. You're looking great. How much are you weighing right now?
Everyone's been saying that, you know, that I'm looking fabulous.
Yeah, you are.
Ariel, let's just go. Do I look fabulous?
I think you look fabulous. The teeth are just like blinding me. I wish I was wearing sunglasses right now, but you're looking fit. Way fitter than the last time, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to show me another thing there. It was getting very low, the camera. It was weird. I was
whoa.
It was uncomfortable.
Whoa. Only my missus gets to see that. Don't be disrespectful.
Former fighter Michael Venom Page also shares concerns about Du Plessis' ability to deal with Chimaev's early aggression. Page believes that Chimaev's explosive athleticism and transition between striking and grappling make him unpredictable and dangerous, especially in the early rounds. If Chimaev can keep his pace high and land his strikes early on, Page feels that he could finish the fight before Du Plessis has a chance to find his rhythm.
I don't see anybody beating him.
I like Khamzat too. I think he's been really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. He looked better in the last fight. Obviously, it didn't last long, so we didn't get to see it, but normally he's like Crash Bandicoot the first round, and then his energy dips.
DDP has been interesting, though.
I feel like Dricus is very underrated for a belt holder here.
But that's the thing. If anybody was to, it would be Dricus, because that is the muscular endurance. If you look at like some of the fights nowadays, Merab, Dricus, these guys that have the muscular endurance to be fighting at 7 the whole fight. And you got someone like Merab that's 7-8 from start to finish, mate, that's difficult to deal with. And Dricus seems exactly the same. He's like 7-8 the whole time. So if you don't kill him and get him out of there in that first round, second round, then you're gonna have a problem for the rest of the fight.
Meanwhile, Caio Borralho has sparked some interesting rumors surrounding Chimaev. He suggested that Chimaev might consider retiring if he wins the middleweight title, citing health concerns and the pressure of being at the top. While this claim is based on hearsay and speculation, it adds another layer of intrigue to an already captivating fight. Some believe that Chimaev's success and the wealth he's accumulated could make him reconsider his future in the sport, but others are skeptical about the validity of such rumors.
Are you going to be riding with the DDP for this one, or you think Khamzat is going to walk away the champion?
Actually, right now, it's hard to bet against DDP. I always bet against him, and he always shoot my mouth. But it's hard to bet against Khamzat. I think this fight can be really, really fast as the Whittaker fight. But I can see this fight going into the second, the third round, and then I see some advantage for Dricus, you know what I mean?
Stephen Thompson, another respected voice in MMA, predicts a tough fight for Chimaev, particularly if Du Plessis can survive the early rounds. Thompson notes that Du Plessis is an awkward, strong, and difficult opponent to handle, and if he can endure Chimaev's initial onslaught, he could take control as the fight progresses. Thompson acknowledges that Chimaev's cardio has been a concern in the past, and while he's made improvements, it could still play a significant role in this matchup.
Oh man, I think it's a tough one for Khamzat Chimaev. Du Plessis, his awkwardness makes him very difficult to deal with. He's got great grappling, he's a very strong opponent. If he can weather the storm in a five and a round fight, I'm leaning towards Du Plessis. You know, we saw what Gilbert Burns did, but obviously Khamzat Chimaev, he's made some changes. You know, he's evolving, he's getting better, he's strong. Oh man, I would love to see Du Plessis win it. I'm leaning towards Du Plessis because I think it's very tough fight. Very tough fight. Khamzat's notorious for fatiguing later on in the rounds, and if it's a 5-round fight, Du Plessis it is.
Jamahal Hill, who has seen Du Plessis' growth firsthand, also leans toward the South African fighter. Hill praises Du Plessis for his physical power, unpredictable striking, and strong cardio, all of which could give Chimaev trouble. He notes that Chimaev has shown signs of tiring in later rounds, which could give Du Plessis the opportunity to seize control. However, Hill also warns that Chimaev's grappling ability remains a dangerous weapon, and he's not ready to count him out just yet.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. It may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. I think he's got the better cardio. His physical strength, I believe, can pose a problem for anybody in that division. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time, get a read on. So I believe he will land. So I probably lean more towards DDP, but you can't count a guy like Khamzat out. I believe he's one of the best natural pure grapplers. He does have the ability to throw some hands too, so it's interesting.
Bo Nickal, an up-and-coming grappler, sees Chimaev's grappling as a defining feature of his game. He believes that Chimaev's pressure-based fighting style, combined with his top control, will continue to be a major asset against Du Plessis. Nickal argues that Chimaev's ability to dictate the pace of the fight and maintain constant pressure on his opponents is what sets him apart and will likely serve him well in this matchup.
Just based on the styles, I just think the grappling style, you know, I might be biased. I'm definitely biased, but I think the grappling style is so hard to beat, and it's so hard to defend against. And I guess if you look at it from a analytical point of view, you have so many. It's really become the dominant force in the sport. You got Merab, you got Islam, you got Bilal, you got Khamzat. You even have you can even look at Topuria. Obviously, people know he's more of a boxing style, and he does a lot more striking, but his background is wrestling. You know, he did that before anything else. And so it's really wrestlers that are dominating, grapplers that are dominating the sport right now. And so I think that I would give the edge to Khamzat.
Kamaru Usman, who has faced Chimaev in a high-profile contest, raises concerns about Chimaev's ability to sustain his grappling pressure over 5 rounds. Usman acknowledges that Chimaev's strength and control are formidable, but he believes that Du Plessis' resilience could make it difficult for Chimaev to maintain that dominance throughout the fight. Usman suggests that if Chimaev is unable to finish Du Plessis early, he'll have a much harder time controlling the fight as the rounds go on.
Khamzat Chimaev on your back round 1 is not easy to get off. And then he was able to sink that in, and that goes to show how strong of a squeeze this freaking dude had.
Could he pull that same style against Dricus Du Plessis? Because I will say this.
Ultimately, the key question surrounding this fight is whether Chimaev can maintain his aggressive pace for 5 rounds, especially against a fighter as tough and durable as Du Plessis. Some analysts predict that Chimaev's explosiveness will be too much for Du Plessis early on, while others believe that Du Plessis' endurance will allow him to outlast Chimaev and capitalize on any weaknesses as the fight progresses. One thing is certain, the UFC 319 showdown between these two middleweights will be a thrilling spectacle that fans won't want to miss.